The couples that hire you deserve your best, but they don't need unlimited 24-hour access to your mind, to your business, and to you as a working DJ in the world of events. What's up, everyone? My name is Jason, and in this video, I want to address a topic that I think is pretty important, and it has to do with setting boundaries with people that hire you for their wedding, their events. And I know we deal with this at SCE in different ways at different times, and it's something that is really impacting someone on my team right now. So I thought it would be wise to record a video just to lay out some framework and pay it forward, help some people that could be potentially struggling with the same thing, which is couples reaching out to you 11:30 at night to make song selection changes a day or two before their event happens, when all the information has already been finalized. You're already all set with your plan and how to deal with, I guess, setting boundaries with them. I think this is a topic that different people handle in different ways, and it all could depend on your region, what you do, the types of events you do, and what you charge, the level of service that you bring to the table. But at the very end of it all, I think regardless of who you are, where you're located, what you charge, and whatever, there has to be some type of framework, structure, and boundary set so that you're not on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week leading up to anyone's event, regardless of how big, how important, and how much they've spent with you in your business. I think weddings themselves are super emotionally charged, and I can totally understand someone squirreling out, getting kind of anxious, anxiety, or just not really sure and having a question, and it being a pressing question or situation, wanting them to reach out to their DJ to get clarity, clarification, or just to set the tone in the right direction. I understand that. I think opening yourself up with giving someone access to your personal cell phone number, your personal home number, or just the ability of getting to you 24 hours a day is not always the best situation. And I think the way to handle this, if you are someone that likes to make yourself completely and fully available to your couples, to your clients, to the people that hire you, is to set boundaries. So how do we set boundaries? What do we do? And what does that look like? I think first and foremost, having some type of contract structure in place that addresses this is really, really, really important. And I think laying out the law, or laying out the rules of engagement, laying out the rules of the road is really important. And doing so in your contract so that everyone is clearly informed of how you work, when you work, and how you will deal with things that are emergency sends. Because, hey, let's face it, you could be spending time with your person, you could be spending time with your family, you could be on site at someone else's event, and shit hits the fan with them, and they think that their event is the only thing on your calendar, which we all working DJs know is not always the case. We do have lives, we do have things going on, and we sometimes need a little bit of space away from the business. And boundaries is how we, I guess, set the guardrails on the road of how we interact and when we interact with our couples, regardless of how pressing, how important, or how detailed their request, need, or situation is. So the scenario, your couple reaches out to you 2 days before the event, they want to change all the stuff. Cool, no problem. There needs to be a way and a framework set in place of how they can interact with you, for how they want to make adjustments, when they make adjustments, and like what that looks like. For us, we do everything through a planning platform, but at a certain point in time, the planning platform cuts off access so that the couple can't make any additional changes. That allows us the needed time to prepare properly for every single event. Now, things do happen, people do get behind, things change, I understand that. And within all reasonable framework and within all reason, you should be able to handle and adjust appropriately within I think, respectable amount of time. A quick conversation, a quick email, even a text message is something that can go a very long way in navigating updates, adjustments, or just things that change. One thing that I like to do is give access to the people that I work with, my personal access. They have access to my cell phone, they can call me, they can text me, they can leave messages, they can send me messages on Instagram. And sometimes I have the ability of responding immediately, and sometimes I don't, because life goes on in my world, and I like to respect the boundaries of my work world, especially when I'm with my family, when I'm with my wife, when I'm with my children, and I think it's really important. Tip number one is set boundaries in your contract for when you work, how you work, and how things need to be changed in the future. When you're doing things like a final design review with a couple, the final meeting with a couple for their wedding, and let's just say you go through everything, they seem solid on everything, and they say nothing's going to change. And I think it's important for you as the DJ to let them know if anything changes for your celebration, it's no problem. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to make adjustments, but I'm going to need that request over via email, text message, however you feel the most appropriate, and send it over to me whenever you have it. I will respond and let you know that I received it, as well as I will make the adjustments needed. I will reach out to you if I have or need clarification, I have any questions during working hours. And working hours for you could be different than me. For me, working hours are usually between the hours of 10 and 6 or so, but I do work later than that and earlier than that. It's just, that's my framework. You're going to get a call back from me, or you're going to get a message from me between those hours, because before that, I like to protect my time for my own personal wellness, my personal fitness, my walking, my taking care of myself, going to the gym, tanning, whatever I got to do. And then after that, I like to allocate to my son, practices, my wife, Lauren, dinner, my family, just chilling out, date night, this, that, as long as I'm not working. Now, there are a couple days a week where I do work into the evenings, like today is one of those days, and that's a little bit different. But I lay that out to them, and I let them know when I'm meeting with them, if they need to adjust anything, how that looks and what they need to do and how I expect it to come to me, so that they're not sending me a message. They're not going to talk to me quickly on the phone and then expect me to just change everything. I need it in written form, because I need a paper trail of the adjustments in case anything goes sideways, in case anything goes wrong, and in case I need to refer back to it if I need or have questions about whatever it is they're asking me to adjust. I think it's also important to set up auto reminders with your email, even with your text messages, if you can, or your CRM, if someone's going to reach out to you to make some adjustments, to let them know the adjustments will be done. And the auto reminder should not only notify them that you received that message, that inquiry, that adjustment from them, but that you will make the adjustments and read through everything the next business day under your working hour framework for whatever that is, if that makes sense. So setting up auto reminders, auto text replies, all of that stuff is fair game, and something that I think could eliminate rapid fire messages, rapid fire calls, rapid fire voicemails, and just the confusion of a lot of different conversations that might all be the same, but they're fragmented because they're coming at you because you're not responding, because you have a life and you have other things going on. I also think having a professional CRM portal, planning platform, software resource available for people to make adjustments to changes is also really important. I mentioned before, we set up a time frame where no additional information can be changed. And that is actually also mentioned in our contract to protect us, so that if someone makes an adjustment and it's impossible to do, we are protected from a contract perspective to not be, at fault for not delivering something. Now, obviously we do whatever we have to do, and times situations come up, things come up, and you have to do what you have to do. That's part of this business. That's part of the hospitality side of this business. You're here to serve, you're here to please, you're here to do everything for everyone. But sometimes you need to set the framework for saying, hey, here's how you do things, here's how I take the information, and if this is not available, I can't guarantee the results that you're expecting. That's like setting boundaries up. Sometimes I'll work with a planner and they're like, okay, I'm going to give you my piece of paper on how we track everything. And I'm like, that's cool, I'll look at it, but I have to have the information that is made available to my team and I via the event planner platform that we use, DJAP. We have a planning platform, we have online planning tools. Everything has to come over to us that way, including Spotify playlists, must play, do not plays, pronunciations, anything at all has to come over through that. After I go through it and we come up with our actual plan of attack, and if you want some information on this, the Selfie link in the description of this video has access to Wedding Intros Like a Boss, which has some information on this, the questions I ask and the things that we do. And there's actually a copy of this as well. If you're looking to get a copy of this from a real wedding that I've actually done, it's in there. But that's my tool. That's my run of show. That's what my team uses to facilitate someone's wedding. The planning stuff that a planner has is their world, and it's probably going to include information that has no relevance to entertainment in any way, shape, or form. Our document has only all of the information that we need to be mindful of, we have to be knowledgeable of, and we need to understand in its entirety, because it affects the entertainment experience, and that's our only responsibility. I know there's a lot of things that go on in a wedding, and from a planner perspective, there's a lot of things you got to track, but we only care about the music, we only care about the experience, we only care about the lighting, we care about the things that we're responsible for. Our contract and the dialogue communicates to the couple that that platform that we use is how we get to this, and it's how we execute flawlessly for our events. Without the information in our system, we are not responsible for the results, because that's what we understand, that's what my entire company uses, and that's how we stage our production. We work our logistics, we run the operation via that platform. It's specifically spelled out in the contract, and that dialogue has to happen up front, and sometimes it has to happen throughout the course of the wedding planning process, but it's there to help people. And I think that's what it's all about. So using a professional portal, using a CRM, using a planning platform of some kind, and specifying in your contract that that is the book of record for your activity, for your communication, for everything that you need is really important. I think also reinforcing that with conversation in the sales process, the planning process, and supporting them from start to finish is really important. Another thing that I think is really, really important is setting boundaries on how they can access your calendar. Now, we here at SCE use Calendly. It's a management platform that allows people to make appointments on our calendar based on our schedules, what we have going on. And we don't allow people access to the calendar platform, the Calendly platform, until they're an existing client. And at given points of the planning process, we open up calendar appointments to them for different roles or activities. I use this as a buffer because sometimes, you'll get a message from someone. They're like, yo, are you available on this day? Can we get on a call like right now? And I understand the urgency. I understand the importance of their event, but that one conversation is just one conversation. And someone like me might have 30 conversations planned in a single day, and I don't have the bandwidth to take on something else that day. So I give them access to the calendar for the thing that they're looking for that they can actually use, that gets them access to my calendar based on my availability and their availability. They get to set it up, and it might not happen that day. Some might say that's not a good thing. I think it's clear and it sets up boundaries, and that's what this is all about. Using a platform like Calendly to manage your time and access to you is something that's super important. Obviously, the week of a wedding, if things are changing, someone needs something, you have to support it in whatever way you can. But having some type of boundary structure in place is really, really important. And it'll save you a lot of stress, and it'll save you a lot of aggravation potentially, and even personal situations dealing with like family and friends and your person. If someone's ringing your phone off the hook and you're on date night and your wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever doesn't want you to answer the phone because they haven't gotten time with you, you need to protect that time. And that's what this is all about. Last thing I want to say is it's so important to have access. I think affording someone time is something that's really important, especially as you start to increase your, service fees, and as you start to do bigger events and you start to work for different, I think, higher end or like luxury clientele. I think it's important that you have a high access or you have a high touch level of service with them. I think the thing that I would say is it's important to do all of these things and still provide that like level of access to you that could potentially cross into like the personal space. I think it's all okay, but setting up a framework is just a respectful thing to do. I think that when you treat people with respect, when you treat things with kindness, if there's an issue, and you provide, the rules of the road from a clarity perspective, you make it like super clear for them to understand how to interact with you, when you will interact with them, and how long it will take you to get back to them. And as long as you do what you say and say what you do, I feel like the setting boundaries is something that a lot of people will respect. And when you set up an auto reminder and you do all these different things, you use a platform and they're notified, hey, we got your update. We'll be in touch in a day or two or the next business day to go over any, conversation points that might need attention if we have any questions. I think it helps set you up for success, and that's the point of this. Setting boundaries is something that's super important, especially as you start to get busier and busier and busier, especially as you start to grow your company and you start doing more events in bigger places for more influential people that are spending more money. I think the larger sometimes contracts get and the larger your portfolio starts to grow, sometimes the needs of the couples that you work for, the needs of the clients that you work for may change, and you have to be willing to adjust around it. I think setting boundaries is something that's super important, especially if you're looking to do this for long term, and it's something that a lot of DJs deal with in different ways. Anyway, I want to hear from you. What do you do to set boundaries up with your business in the world of events for your world? Please share in the comments underneath this video. And if you found some value in this video, be sure to smash the thumbs up button. We've got a lot on deck here in store on the channel. So check back every now and again. I'm trying to post 2 or 3 pretty solid videos a week, and I would love your support in the future. So anyway, comment down below and check back in the future. More to come right here on this channel. Thanks for watching this, and we'll see you in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.